injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
These are not your mamas and your papas Jaguars. That is for sure. The youth movement well underway, particularly on the offensive side of the football. More announcements are in, some official, some not. Nonetheless, we're going to cover them over the next couple of hours. Absolutely thrilled to be back in. Can't remember the last day I took a weekday off, and I did yesterday. And I had a fun round of golf and went and saw a concert last night. So today's been just a whirlwind. The beers were just flowing at a tremendous pace. But I'm a guy who can get up the next morning if I keep it to just beer. If I involve liquor and anything else, that's where trouble begins. And I did not last night, so I'm actually proud of myself. And I'm also really proud of the Jaguars. They've taken their time. Some will say they're doing this whole thing backwards, right? Coach first, GM, we're still waiting. Quarterback coach before an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. And first time for all of them, it's the new way of this organization. And why not? Everything else they've tried hasn't worked. Why not give it a shot in this particular fashion? It's not the blueprint on how to build a football team. I mean, the perfect way would have been to have an executive vice president in Tony Baselli, to have a general manager in, announce your head coach, have your head coach get for you an offensive and defensive and special teams coordinator. Again, but this team's lost, 18 of the last 23 or something like that? And guess what? The stench is gone. I mean, here we are, first week of February, and it's almost as if that doesn't even matter anymore. I just love the electricity. I love the enthusiasm that's going on here within Duval, considering just how bad things were. It doesn't feel like that. It's a renewed enthusiasm about what's going on with this football team. And it begs the question, are they doing it right? I don't think it's going to be a mixed bag here. I really don't. Now, the record may end up being that, but I'm talking about the temperature in the city, the feeling of what is going on. I really think it's going to, the picture is going to be crystal clear, even in the month of September. Hey, this thing is going to work, or this thing is going to crumble. I really believe that. An incredibly young staff, headed up by Grant Udinski, 29 years of age. You know, you've read the story, sleeping in his car at Walmart. This guy's like a mad scientist. He is brilliant. I want to make sure I don't use the word genius because I'll offend some out there. They'll tell me that Einstein was a genius. Grant Udinski is, in fact, not. We like to put it into football terms. Every once in a while, we're meat and potatoes, right? I mean, let's just throw it on out there. This man has been very responsible for the turnaround in Minnesota. Unfortunately, did not get the opportunity to work with J.J. McCarthy, but look at the turnaround season for Sam Darnold. Grant Udinski, he has his fingerprints all over that movement, right? Now, he's not getting full credit, nor should he, because of the staff that is in place in Minnesota. But if you just read what is out there, all the reports that have been filed, the, one after another, material that you're able to take a look at just how aggressive he is, how punctual he is. His knowledge appears to be off the chart. I mean, this is one of these football lifers. This isn't one of those, well, it's a job, right? I mean, this is all he does. He oozes football. And he's 29, and he will now take over as the offensive coordinator. Of course, he's going to be responsible for, generating the game plan, putting together the scheme with Liam Cohen. He's not going to call plays, nor do you want him to call plays. Just look at the buzz this 29-year-old's getting. Okay, and just to finally put a stop to this, this is one of the other reasons why I'm so happy with what the Jaguars have done. And again, it was my biggest pitch. It was my biggest statement about getting a Liam Cohen. Of course, I did want Ben Johnson, but those days are done. Get a Liam Cohen, get a guy in here who can work with Trevor Lawrence and call plays. Because if Grant Udinski was coming here to call plays, let's just go the way of fiction here for one moment. Let's go the way of fantasy for just a second. Let's put it out there. Let's say the Jaguars flip the switch. They go 11-6. They go deep into the playoffs, or they win a playoff game. All right. Things stay in order for another year. All of a sudden, that 11-6, they're 12-5. They're 13-4. They win the division. They're going deep into the playoffs. They get knocked out. But you see improvement. The football team is better. The offense is, it is put together. What happens? Grant Udinski gets plucked. He becomes a head coach at the age of 31 in the NFL with another team. That may happen that may happen anyway. But the difference here is, yes, it hurts to lose him, but Liam Cohen is still calling plays. If they didn't hire Liam Cohen, let's say they hired someone else, and you lost your offensive coordinator, you would have to start all over again. How many times have we said this is going to be the fourth play caller for Trevor Lawrence in 5 years? So that does not come into play. You may still end up losing Grant Udinski. In a lot of scenarios, that ends up being really the best case, right? These coaches are thought of so highly that NFL teams are taking them away and promoting them to being head coaches because the Jaguars have turned it around. You're not going to have to worry about that if you lose football games. You're not going to have to worry about that if you're a 9-8 team. But if you start to win, it's no secret that most of the hires come from winning programs. So I think that's a pretty cool situation now, bringing in Grant Udinski at the age of 29. He will be the offensive coordinator here. He had currently been the assistant offensive coordinator in Minnesota. He was also the assistant quarterbacks coach with the Vikings. And, on top of that, you look at Liam Cohen, not a lot of play calling experience for Liam Cohen at the professional level. He did it for 18 games last year in Tampa. And, I've seen some say that he's really responsible for the turnaround of Baker Mayfield. I believe that is incorrect. He certainly is responsible for the continued development of Baker Mayfield. But Dave Canellis a year ago, who was picked apart and added to Carolina. My whole scenario I just gave you about Grant Udinski applies to Tampa in consecutive years, right? Losing Dave Canellis to Carolina and now losing Liam Cohen to Jacksonville. But Canellis did have a lot to do with Baker turning it around a year ago. Now, of course, this past year, certainly Liam Cohen deserves a lot of credit for what he did with Baker Mayfield. All you got to do is go back and look what Baker had to say, what Baker said. I mean, just a phenomenal endorsement by the Pro Bowl quarterback in Tampa Bay to the new head coach of your Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, thrilled to have you with us right here. It is a Thursday edition. We got a lot to get into here over the next couple of hours. Also going to get back to the coaching staff. There have been some other hires that have happened today, which I want to dive into that with you. Also really break down this offense, where it's at, where it needs to go. Still some huge decisions that need to be mentioned. A little bit later on in the program, I want to talk about Fred Taylor. We will wait another 48 hours. Does Freddie get the call on Saturday? Fred Taylor deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, period. He deserves to be there. I happen to think he's a year away, okay? What do you got, Dylan?
No, I was about to say that announcement happens tonight. They moved the awards show to Thursday night.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know tonight.
Oh, so what time is that going to be?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. So we'll actually find that out tonight. All right. Well, that's good to know. So this is absolutely the time we want to take a look at this. Boy, I hope it happens. I just think the world of Fred Taylor, and I know you out there as Jaguar fans do as well. What an unbelievable accomplishment. And again, I think he's hurt a little bit by a couple of things. Number one, the small market hurt him. It's tough to say small market, big market now because of social media, because of our cell phones, because, you can see every game, everything's available to you. But that was not the case when Fred came in, right? 1998, that was not. And it affected Baselli to some extent. Absolutely it did. And I think it's hurting Fred Taylor right now. I think the other thing that got him is he went over to New England when New England was winning all these Super Bowls. I've asked a lot of Hall of Fame voters over the years and writers, what does winning a Super Bowl mean? Eli Manning, who's going to get in tonight, right? Look at Eli Manning's numbers. Look at Eli Manning's record, okay? Eli Manning is in or will get in on his first ballot because he won 2 Super Bowls. You start to get the guys like Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, whatever, who have similar numbers, okay? Similar numbers. Matter of fact, Phillip Rivers has a much better one-loss record, I believe. I'll have to look it up once again. But they didn't win a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan should have won a Super Bowl, if they kept the ball on the ground, but we know that wasn't the case. Super Bowls are important. Fred Taylor went off to New England. It was the end of his career. He wasn't 100%, but he didn't win a Super Bowl. And I wonder if that has some effect as well on the voters. So we'll make our way towards that in a little bit. The Philly Godfather is standing by. He's going to join us at 6:45. Philly Godfather has been on an absolute tear. He'll give us his pick, whether it's a side or total or perhaps both. And some of these Super Bowl props, I happen to now subscribe to the feeling of these props have become ridiculous, almost absurd. But the folks love them. I mentioned meat and potatoes a little bit earlier. It's not always about the hardcore fan, right? And I think this event has been proven year after year after year that it's so much more than just the game. It's about the commercials. It's about the halftime entertainment. It's about the football squares. It's about the propositional bets that you can wager on legally now. And it just explodes. I mean, everyone's got their hands in it to some extent. Everyone likes it. I happen to be one of those guys who hasn't bet. Now, I keep saying 10 and a half years. I think I should probably turn the corner and admit that it's been about 11 years now since I've actually made a wager. I don't have the itch yet. I'll get it at some point. I kind of envision myself alone, mean, yelling at the clouds and screaming at the television set on an offensive holding, affecting my overall bet. I'll get there at some point in my life. I'm just not ready for it right now. Why force it, right? If you don't feel like betting, don't bet. If you do feel like betting and you think you can win, best of luck to you. I hope you're not taking food off the table and doing it in that particular fashion. But if you have a little bit of side cash and you can have some fun. I got buddies who do that. They'll put 100, 200, whatever on the game. They barely even watch it. They get out with their family, have a great time, check their phone. Oh, I won. Doesn't mess with their disposition whatsoever. To me, that is remarkable. Right? There's nothing worse than being around an angry gambler. As a matter of fact, that'd be a pretty good argument. What's worse, an angry drunk or an angry gambler? The combination of them both is, frankly, they should be behind bars. But that in itself is a interesting conversation, if you do ask me. All right, when we come back, let's dive into this a little bit. Shane Waldron added. He is going to be the passing game coordinator, fired this year in Chicago. 9 games in. What does that mean? John Van Dam, You a wrestling guy? Do you remember Rob Van Dam?
No, sir. I remember Kevin Van Dam, the fisherman, Bassmasters.
Okay. Rob Van Dam was a shorter guy, but he was always roided up. I mean, he was like a absolute poster boy for wrestling and roids. And he had that thing where he'd grab his thumbs and point it to his shoulders, and the crowd would go, Rob Van Dam. And he was pretty good as a face. He was better as a heel. I think he started in that, whatever it was kind of an underground wrestling. I forget the name of it. That was pretty extraordinary with busting through tables. And who's the guy who represents Brock Lesnar? Who's the manager? The name escapes me right now. He's been around forever. Frankly, he's very good. I get in and out of wrestling. There are times that
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, thank you. He started it way back when, and he had some pretty good wrestlers in it. And Rob Van Dam was one of them. Again, that had kind of an underground audience. They didn't have the money. They didn't have the ability to advertise and market like Vince did and like Ted Turner did and others did. But I remember Rob Van Dam. Anyway, this time it's John Van Dam. Finally, they poached from Tampa, kind of. His contract was not picked up. He was the passing game specialist in Tampa Bay, along with being the tight ends coach in Tampa Bay. But Liam Cohen says he's available. Well, come here to Duval. So a lot of reports out that he will now be the passing game specialist for the Jaguars. And you add to that the hire earlier in the week with Spencer Whipple taking over as the quarterback's coach. So there you go. There's your brain trust, right? I mean, let's be honest here. Not a lot of household names. They're not regurgitating ex-coordinators and former head coaches. This is very obvious. This is a long-term plan. Build this thing. Put some guys that are younger that you have to believe are going to outwork everyone else. You have to believe that even though they've all been promoted, or I guess you can't say that Waldron has been promoted. He is now the passing game coordinator. He's gone from being an offensive coordinator both in Seattle to Chicago before he got fired. But my point is that it feels like offensively here, they're putting together a staff that has a chance to work so hard and change this thing around that for every single one of these coaches, it could end up being magnificent for them. I mean, if you look at their future and the ability to move up the ladder, it is ripe here in Duval with a 25-year-old quarterback. A team that averaged 18 points a game a year ago. Will it happen? We're going to sit back and witness this, but the reports are in that is the staff. Still wondering about the offensive line coach. Sean Sarrett apparently is scheduled for an interview. The assistant offensive line coach with Minnesota. The one disappointment for me is Kevin Carberry is now not coming with the announcement that came in very late last night with Grant Udinski as the offensive coordinator. He has been my thought on this all along because to me the most important position coach, hands down, and maybe even the most important hire, hands down, has been who is going to run this offensive line in Jacksonville. He's the guy I wanted who worked with Cohen last year, but they are not going to be able to get him. He was promoted today by the Buccaneers. All right, opening comments brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. It's really a shame some of these practices charging anywhere up to $5,000 an eye for cataract surgery. They talk about advanced equipment, advanced technology. And if someone's going to explain that to you, you're going to believe them, right? Because who knows the difference? Well, the most expensive doesn't always mean it's the best, certainly when it comes to eye care. Now, at Shmunez Vision, they have that equipment as well. But they're much more thorough in their explanation, in their analysis about what is going on with your eyes. And if you have an issue that is cataract related, you may not need surgery. There may be another remedy for you. If you do need it, you're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience with Dr. Neil Shmunez, who performed surgery on my right eye, 8.5 years ago. Dr. Catherine Schmunez and Dr. John Hunt, regardless of what it is, whether it's something incredibly necessary like that, or maybe it's cosmetic, all right, with eyelid surgery, or maybe you would love laser eye surgery, 2020 for the rest of your life. Doesn't matter. Just check them out online. They are absolutely spectacular. They are the good folks over at Schmunez Vision. That is Schmunez Vision, and you can check them out online or as well go to Instagram to get the very latest from Schmunez Vision. When we come back, much more on the Jaguars, their added additions to the offensive staff and the offense as a whole. Let's dive into it on a Thursday edition of Into the Night.
Does Flutie have a pro miracle?
I'm Doug Flutie on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Here's Flutie rolling out, and he is in for the touchdown!
Ballou here for Schmunez Vision. Why Schmunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Schmunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Schmunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Schmunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit schmunezvision.com today. Here you can see.
Before the Great American Race on Sunday, the high banks of Daytona heat up with a Saturday night showdown in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Experience the intense competition up close on the sport's biggest stage to kick off the 2025 season. The NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona International Speedway, Saturday, February 15th. Tickets start at just $49, and kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Secure your seats now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
We don't have too many cold nights on the First Coast, but when the temperature drops, you want to hit the heat button and warm up. That's where Florida Home comes in. They're the AC experts in Jacksonville, and the importance of keeping your heating system in good working order is really important. If it stops working when it gets cooler, Florida Home will leap into action and provide you with the best solution. Heater and heat pump repair service and new system installation. They do it all. Just call Florida Home AC at 777-4300, the official heating and AC partner of the Jaguars.
One of the best things about being on the First Coast is standing at the center of the golf world.
Yes, it is.
Brunch with a Tour.
Tour news, tips, and inside info. Brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Don't miss the big game specials at Southern Steer Butcher. Check out our website for the big game snack attack, party combo, sampler combo, and the best buffalo dip you've ever had.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off. and interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings in our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. No matter the weather, Triumph has an unbelievable selection of rides where you can get out and just enjoy the highway.
They do. The new Rocket is out, the new color schemes, the Tiger 1200, which has been revamped. These bikes are nice, gorgeous, and ready to ride.
And if you want to take a look at the selection, they can just roll into the showroom and see a full variety.
We've got them all in stock and ready to go.
So if you log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, search the Triumph line, and then head into the showroom. You'll be impressed. Cycles of Jacksonville.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Bertie Cummings on keyboards. And vocals. A lot of fun at the Florida Theater. What a blast last night. Saw a lot of 1010XL listeners. And that's always appreciated. What a venue. Can't beat it. I mean, you cannot. Whenever something comes to the Florida Theater, it's not a bad seat in the house, and really had a fun time last night. All right, we're back at it. Ready to go right here on this Thursday. I take a look at what is going on with the Jaguars. They have made quite a few moves offensively, but first things first, we have breaking news off of the coast of Jacksonville. Let's bring in our good buddy, Dylan, Denmark. Scary news off the coast of Jacksonville. Ooh. Don't do it. Don't do it, Dylan. I got a vacation coming up in a week. I won't even go in the water. For crying out loud. What do you have for us?
According to News4Jax, a massive white shark, the largest ever tagged by O-Search in the Northwest Atlantic, has been spotted swimming offshore of Jacksonville Beach. Not just any shark. It's contender, 13.8 foot, 1,652-pound mature male. And he's swimming well offshore.
I'll never wear a life jacket again. Nah, he'll swallow you whole.
Says it was tagged on January 17th, 2025, about 45 miles off the Florida-Georgia coast.
Just went to a book sale at the library. It was a couple weekends ago, and picked up a book on delivering the bomb off of Annapolis, which of course was hit. And a lot of military members went in, didn't come out because of the sharks, who had a massive frenzy. It's considered like perhaps the largest of our lifetime, or even before our lifetime. And of course, talked about during Jaws, and that was kind of That was kind of impromptu with Dreyfus and, Hooper and Quint and Brody. Robert Shaw, who played the role, was talking about that. And to me, it's one of the great, situations in film history when he talks about delivering the ball. And then he wraps it up by saying, I'll never wear a life jacket again. I don't blame him. So how big? 13.9, you said?
Yeah. It's almost 14, pretty much 14 feet, 1,600 pounds.
And it's here.
About 45 miles offshore Florida, Georgia coast.
A buddy of mine just went deep sea fishing over the weekend. He said he went 50 miles out. They ran out of gas. They had to call Mayday. They had to call the Coast Guard and have them pulled back in. Took 2.5 hours. But, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to like Curacao, I think it's called. I'm not even sure. I like these vacations where you have absolutely no idea where you're going. You're just going.
You just wake up and do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No plan.
Exactly. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm told they have a beach and a pool and golf courses. So I'm in. But I won't go in the water. I will absolutely not go in the ocean. It is my only phobia. And I'm petrified of it.
What about a lake?
You're not here. I mean, why would I with snakes and gators here? Growing up in New England, sure.
Yeah, clean water.
Yeah, growing up there, no question about it. Right? But why would anyone swim in a lake around here? You got alligators in there. You got snakes in there. Some people go in the St. John's, water skiing or whatever. I'm like, screw that. I know you got to hop in to take a leak every once in a while, but that's like really the extreme. Hold it. Kind of like me last night at the Florida Theater, man. Those beers are going down so easy, but I had a seat that was in. I felt so bad because I had to keep getting up and grabbing 2 more beers and go to the lavatory. But like the people sitting to the right of me, average age was about 85.
Jeez.
And it's like it actually is. It's like legitimately a workout for them to have to step up, stand. I felt just terrible. But
yeah, once you break the seal, you keep going every 20, 30 minutes.
That seal was broken long before the concert. I played golf yesterday. Had a really good day. Spencer Whipple, your quarterback's coach. John Van Dam. Everyone tell me now ECW. Thank you. As a matter of fact, the folks on YouTube now have begun a conversation on ECW. These are the type of things that we create on Into the Night, especially during non-football season. We're talking football, but somehow we've got a conversation here going about Rob Van Dam, former wrestler. Jacksonville hires John Van Dam. Got him out of Tampa, passing game specialist. Shane Waldron. This one's interesting. I read a couple of negative things on this today. Sometimes coaches are in bad situations, right? I mean, are you going to trust the process here? Are you going to trust the brain trust of Liam Cohen, Tony Baselli, Ethan Waugh, Tony Khan, Shad Khan? Shad Khan's yacht is in New Orleans. I'm sure he has the technology to light things up Zoom-wise and be able to figure things out. Or, again, I just mentioned all of those folks. Maybe at this particular point, it's all down to Liam Cohen. He has full autonomy. Hire who you want. Others will have an opinion. Jacksonville, these hires are so imperative. This team was 26th in the NFL in scoring offense. Just awful. 18.2 points a game. I mean, just terrible. There's no other way to say it. That's an embarrassment that this football team could only score 18 points a game. And you know how challenged they are. Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, every type that you can even consider in the first half. Especially the first quarter. It's almost like this thing ain't going to be built in a night. But it's almost like I'd be fine if they were around 500. Just feel free to come out and score. Just give these fans a reason to be excited in the first quarter. Hey, here's one for you. Put up a 3-0 lead. Put up a 7-0. I mean, give these fans at least one quarter. To high-five their buddy, to give knuckles to your buddy, to kiss some babies and backslap some people and be like, we're up 7. Not this team. So you got to fix that. 26th in the NFL. You got to fix total offense. 25th in the NFL. 306 yards a game. 300 yards. All the money invested in that offense. 300. Can you imagine being Liam Cohen right now and these new coaches looking at these numbers? They got to be foaming at the mouth like, are you kidding me? Bigsby, Etienne, Strange, Ingram, the wide receiver core, Thomas Jr., they're only getting 300 yards a game? 22nd and third down completion percentage, 37.3. Not good enough. Not good enough. And, down in distance is actually okay. How many times have we seen it? 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. This team cannot pick up first downs. This team cannot line up and say, it's our men against your men. They get pushed around in the ditch. They get beaten up. They have their lunch money stolen, and they get sent home to mom. Dadgummit, do I want a tougher bunch up front. One of the Philly Godfather is going to join me in 10 minutes. One of the props that a lot of people are betting on is the tush push, which I think is awful. But in Philadelphia, they're like, although Jacksonville did a pretty good job against the tush push. I mean, it was like the highlight of their year. But don't you want that as a Jags fan? Don't you want to play some big man football again? And when you're observing a drive, it's one thing if it's 3rd and 7, if it's 3rd and 8, it's 3rd and 9. It's another if it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 or 3rd and 2. Don't you want this team to be able to line up and run it right at your opponent and pick up first downs? That is a massive challenge for this football team and the incoming offensive line coach, which to this moment, and we're checking as we move throughout the course of the evening, has yet to be announced. Rushing offense. 26th in the NFL. I mean, look at the key numbers I just gave you. 101 yards a game. 26th in rushing. 26th in scoring. 25th in total. And 22nd in third down completion percentage. Or just third down, picking up a first down on third down. Those are the 4 statistics that should mean the most to you. They mean the most to me. And I know that analytically speaking today, that you can really break things down so many different ways. And a lot of the new math I respect. I don't know if I admire it. When you're talking 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2, don't you kind of want to take an Easton aluminum 33 and just smash the computer and say, don't analytic me on 3rd down and 2. On third, line up and be a man and pick up the first down. You understand what I'm saying? 3rd and 11 is different. Okay, you may want to pull out your analytics there. But sometimes I think it's a little bit too much, in my particular opinion. All right, so let's do this. Let's bring in the Philly Godfather. Let's get his pick on the Super Bowl. After that, let's get you involved with the program. Let's do that. There's a lot for you to choose from tonight, including the offense as a whole. Your thoughts on the staff. I mean, I'm sure you, as great fans, you've done some research on this. Again, you're not bringing in a bunch of names that you are overly familiar with, right? These are new names. The great Burt Sugar, the late Burt Sugar, once said these aren't even household names, even in their own home. Who are these people? Well, this is where they have gone. I'm not ripping it. Not at all. I want to be in full support of it. It feels youthful. It feels energetic. And again, it feels like maybe the theme here, if there ever was such thing as a theme when it comes to hiring a staff, that may be a foolish statement by me. If so, let me know. But let me contradict myself. Maybe the theme here is get young guys who are willing to work their ass off. Work harder than anyone else. Selfishly, so they get a better job down the road. But be a part of this immediate turnaround offensively in Jacksonville. Give us your thoughts. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Hello to everyone watching us on YouTube. Always a pleasure. Also on Twitter. Great to have you with us. He is still in Denmark. I am Rick Ballou, the legend. The Philly Godfather joins us next.
1010XL's Dan Hicken dominated Folio Weekly's Best of 2024. Best TV sports anchor, Dan Hicken. Best radio sports anchor, Dan Hicken. Best radio sports show starring Dan Hicken. 1010XL, the home of Dan Hicken.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 6, 1958, future Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder Ted Williams becomes the highest paid player in the MLB, re-signing with the Boston Red Sox for $135,000.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
Love is in the air this February, but nothing kills the mood like a plumbing or HVAC problem. Whether it's a leaky pipe, a backed up septic tank, or your heater isn't keeping things cozy, don't worry. We've got you covered. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Our expert team is here to keep your home running smooth, no matter the issue. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Taylor Doll here. Get your mammogram on the Buddy Bus Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 2 at the showroom of Renewal by Anderson Beach in San Pablo. Reserve your spot by calling 904-202-2499. 904-202-2499.
Hammond, Valentine's Day is coming up. Got any romantic plans?
Dad, I'm married to Clean Air. My plan is to help Jacksonville families breathe easier.
You're helpless, but Clean Air does sound nice. Can duct cleaning really help?
Absolutely. Dust, allergens, even odors can build up in your ducts. Cleaning them now makes your air fresher and healthier for your family. The EPA says better indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So cleaning ducts are like Valentine's Day gift for the house.
Exactly. Forget chocolates. Fresh air lasts longer and doesn't melt. Plus, we've got a February special, $100 off your total.
All right, sign me up. Maybe fresh air will make Mom fall in love with me again all over.
You'll have to take her to dinner for that, but cleaner air will definitely help.
Fair enough. Jacksonville, if you're ready to show your home some love, Google Zerorez and read over 7,000 five-star reviews. Zerorez.
Spelled Florida backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zerorez.
Is your office productivity running at full speed? Advanced Business Solutions has the solution with Xerox copiers. Whether you need high volume printing, scanning, or secure document management, Xerox copiers deliver efficiency, quality, and innovation. With features like cloud integration and mobile printing, Xerox is perfect for any modern office. Let ABS help you streamline your workflow. Better known, Advanced Business Solutions.
Advanced Business Solutions.
It's time to get up and go to the Jacksonville RV Mega Show, Thursday through Sunday, February 6th through 9th at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. It's Northeast Florida's largest RV show with hundreds of RVs on display, lifestyle booths, plus win $250 gift cards every day. Adults $10, kids under 12 free. Seniors get half off on Thursday. Military and first responders half off every day. Thursday through Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 9 to 4. The Jacksonville RV Mega Show.
What is the smallest NFL stadium? The answer coming up.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Soldier Field in Chicago is not only the smallest, but is also the oldest, built originally in 1924.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Is your dog Team Rough or Team Fluff? It's officially Puppy Bowl season at Dogtopia Jacksonville, Beach Boulevard. They're getting MVPs, most valuable pups, ready for the big game. Your dog deserves a tail-wagging day of fun, and Dogtopia's indoor playrooms are the perfect training ground for their game day moment. Get your dog in on all the action by visiting Dogtopia Jacksonville, Beach Boulevard, and St. John's Bluff. New to the pack? Enjoy a free day of daycare. Mention Puppy Bowl when booking to claim the offer.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Philly Godfather's been with us again the entire football season, and he has crushed it. He has made his listeners quite a bit of cash. We put the lid on it for the 2024 into 2025 NFL season. Let's bring in the Philly Godfather. Hello, sir.
Can't believe the season's almost over. This had to be the fastest NFL season I've experienced in my lifetime. Amazing.
You know, it's interesting you say that. I think some folks around here would disagree. As a Florida State grad and a Jaguar, host here, wow. It has been kind of long here, but in some other parts, I understand what you said.
Yeah, especially with the Eagles in the Super Bowl, the town's going crazy here in Philly. And we got two teams here that just win football games. They play old school smash mouth football. They run the ball. They win close games, one-possession games, and to find a way to get on top. And now, the biggest game of the year, game opened up, Chiefs -1. They shot up to 2. Some sharp money came in and took some Eagles +2. But there's so many ways to bet this game.
Yeah. Well, what do you believe now? Have you made a decision? You're going to wait a little bit closer to kick off on Sunday? What are your thoughts here on the side?
I kind of like the Eagles in the first half +0.5 point. The Chiefs have traditionally started off slow in 4 Super Bowls. They've scored a combined 33 points in the first half of 4 Super Bowls. So Andy Reid likes to play a little safe. He's basically trying to size up the opponent, see their strengths, their weaknesses. So I do like the Eagles in the first half +0.5 point. Plus, if you put everything in the sample box, that might happen. The game could be tied, the Eagles could be up, or they could be losing. So you cover 66% of the sample box by just taking the Eagles +0.5 point in the first half. It's hard betting against greatness. It's hard to quantify greatness. The Chiefs are the only team that won a playoff game in the postseason this year while losing the turnover differential.
Yeah.
We all know how hard that is to do, and that's basically because of Andy Reid, his in-game adjustments, Spags, and of course the great Patrick Mahomes. I bet a teaser in this one. I bet the Eagles +8.5, and I went over 41.5 to grab me some insurance because of late game theatrics by Patrick Mahomes. It seems like if he gets the ball last, your team's in trouble. So I do think the Eagles are the better team on paper, top 10 offensively, defensively. No one's been able to stop them running the ball all season. I bet them to win the time of possession battle -115. So I think the Eagles do win the time of possession battle with the way they play, football on the offensive side of the ball with Saquon Barkley running the ball. I bet largest lead of the game by either team to be under 14.5 points. And even though they're in a dome, I bet the longest field goal made under 49.5 yards. Both field goal kickers have struggled all season. I think that's a good one. George Karlaftis for the Chiefs is to record one quarterback sack, even money. He's been a monster all year. What else did I bet here? Anytime touchdown by Jalen Hurts -110. He can beat you with the arm or with his legs. And I think there's a mismatch on the field for the Eagles, and I like A.J. Brown over 69.5 receiving yards.
All right. Some interesting props there by the Philly Godfather. When it came into making your pick here, Philadelphia plus a half in the first half, then you're going to do a teaser here, getting the Eagles plus 8.5 and the over 41.5. The officials have taken on a life of its own, even to the point where Commissioner Roger Goodell was asked about it on Monday. How much of that are you taking into consideration? And could it possibly go the other way? I mean, could Philadelphia maybe get a call here because of how big of a deal the media has made of Mahomes getting calls?
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking, and I think they might overcompensate. And like you said, the Eagles might end up getting a few extra calls that they need. I am leaning Eagles plus 1.5, and I think they win the game. I'm still reading on it. A couple of my guys in my crew have actually bet the Eagles minus 5.5 plus 200 on the alternate line.
Ooh.
So that could definitely play a factor. And listen, everyone talks about conspiracy theories and the Chiefs, are getting all the calls. Well, if you look at the box scores and you go through every game, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's been a fact.
Yeah.
So the NFL definitely, for it to be, magnified that big and for the NFL having to address it, well, something's going on. So this might be a good time to sneak in here with the Eagles. Not saying Mahomes isn't great, not saying Andy Reid isn't great. They're going for the three-peat. But it's definitely played a role in a lot of these games. Just look at that Buffalo game, the AFC Championship game. It looked like he had the first down, and they said he didn't get it. So stuff like that could go the Eagles' way this time around the Super Bowl.
Philly Godfather, give us your info out there so our listeners can get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can follow me on X at Philly Godfather. The website's thephillygodfather.com.
All right, last one for you. You gave us some props. Do you do any of these, what I kind of term as ridiculous props, but nothing is ridiculous if you can make money, whether it involves other sports, whether it involves how many times Taylor Swift gets shown, how many times the tush push actually happens? Are you doing anything on those lines?
No, I didn't do nothing like that. There's one prop I saw where Mahomes had more pass attempts than Gianni's points against the Sixers.
Okay.
And as bad as the Sixers have been all year, I'd probably bet Giannis. You can get plus money on that crossover prop. I did bet the Chiefs to convert a fourth down minus 160. I thought that was stealing. Both these teams, when it comes to converting fourth downs, you got to bet them. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. That's also for I also bet you over 3.5 Philadelphia Eagles to have a rush at 10. I thought that was kind of low, in my opinion. But that's pretty much it, man.
Give us the latest on the book, because I've had some people reach out to me how to get a hold of you, and I've sent them in the right direction. But when's the latest? When do you expect the book to be released?
Yeah, final edit's done February 24th, and then the first week of March, full production, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, and you can pick it up at phillybooked.com.
Man, sounds great. Look forward to reading that. It will be out before you know it. We'll have you on for that, and certainly we'll have you back on during March Madness. Philly Godfather, great year. Thank you as always.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes, the Philly Godfather, ladies and gentlemen. So, Philadelphia plus a half in the first half, plus a half a point in the first half. Imagine being that disciplined that you could go out and, the whole world of wagering has changed from the days when I did it. I don't ever remember, when I bet 11 years ago, and I haven't done it, making first half bets. I'm not saying they weren't around. They certainly weren't around if you were betting down at the local pool hall. But, I don't know what it's like online because I've never done it that way. He is going to play the big teaser here, 8.5 points and 41.5. Yeah, it looks good. It really does. We're going to make our picks here tomorrow, Dylan. I don't know why. I feel like Philadelphia. I don't know if I'm going to change that tomorrow when reality sits in. How can you pick against Kansas City? The whole year, they have played to the level of their competition, and they find a way to get a last-second field goal and win games. Isn't that kind of the way you see Super Bowl 59 ending up?
Every playoff game seems like for the Chiefs comes down with them having the ball last and them making a field goal or getting a touchdown they need.
Yeah.
And when the season, when the championship games ended 2 weeks ago, I would lean Eagles, but then each day that's went by, I'm thinking Chiefs. I get a better quarterback. I get the better coach. Eagles have better talent, but you can't. I don't want to pick the Eagles. I'm probably going to lean this way. I'm not going to pick the Eagles and then look like the fool on Monday, be like, I should have known.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's going to be another one of those deals where I just want to sit back and enjoy the game. I've never been a big fan of Philadelphia, and I've seen the way that they have acted here, but it goes back a lot deeper than that. I go back to the Broad Street Bullies against the Big Bad Bruins, and a lot of people forget this, but it was a really good rivalry in the late 70s, early 80s between the Celtics and the 76ers. I know in the 80s we think it's just Celtics-Lakers, but that 76ers in the Eastern Conference, that was a totally different style of basketball. That was a big, bruising, flagrant foul type of basketball. Caldwell Jones, and Bobby Jones, and the late Darryl Dawkins, in the paint. Moses Malone. Go back to George McGinnis. Mo Hollins, Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks, Dr. Julius Erving, the second most famous individual ever out of the University of Massachusetts. We all know the most. He's yours. He's Liam Cohen.
You press the button. Behind those doors, there's a life you always dreamt of.
This is 1010 XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back in the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Roll with Hard Rock Bet for Big Game 59 because we're rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets. The big game kicks off Sunday in New Orleans, but get your share of Big Easy bonus bets now so you can place more bets on us instead of using your own cash. It's the big game rollout. 5.9 million in promos only on Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Foods. And for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag. Maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So, guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off. And interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings in our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Prosser here, still telling you about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Lifetime Enclosures is keeping the sale going into February. Enclosures starting at only $89 a month, and if you get a complete enclosure done, you get free flooring. If you just need flooring, Lifetime Flooring is running a buy one room, get the second room free. Now offering floor coating for that garage or patio deck too. Give them a call or visit their showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Follow Florida Gators men's basketball on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators. the flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health, February 12th through 16th. The Daytona 500 is sold out, but you can still win a 4-pack of tickets to all the other Speed Weeks races. What driver won the 2024 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2024 Daytona 500? For a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Speed Weeks races, text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Dave Benyon with Zero Res. As the temps outside are warming up, so is Zero Res. Right now, it's the hottest price of the year. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $147, and the 4th room is free. That's right, the 4th room is on me. Google Zero Res and see what people are saying. Zero Res has over 6,000 5-star reviews. Remember, February is the hottest price of the year for Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $147, and the 4th room is free. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, thank you to Philly Godfather. Again, I'll promote that book that's coming out. We'll have him on for it. And next time we talk with the Philly Godfather will be March Madness. That's going to be here before you know it, right? I'm on YouTube. Louis Chesney says he bet $100 on a streaker before halftime. Our good friend Rafael Esparza, who's typically with me on Wednesday, of course I was off last night. He's going to join us tomorrow, but he was asked by MyBookie and some other, wagering entities that he works for to come up with 5,000 props. I can't imagine a streaker being one. I know you were giving me some props here during the break. Have you seen anything as far as a streaker?
I have not. I have not seen the odds on it either. The only crazy one that I've seen is will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift? And I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So if you want to lose your money on that, you can throw your money on whatever bookie has that kind of prop bet. But every other one's kind of been pretty normal, at least for odds makers. Like I've seen some dumb ones that aren't real, like how long will Andy Reid's mustache be?
Yeah, that is a dumb one.
Yeah, like it just... What color will Tom Brady's tie be on Sunday during the broadcast?
Right. This streaking thing, this is going to have an effect on a game one of these days. And it's still not handled correctly, in my opinion. Until you make the punishment significant, we're going to keep getting this. And I get it. 99% of you like, what's the big deal? He's a streaker. Well, what if, we got I just said March Madness. What if a guy runs out and grabs the ball, during a pivotal time of the game? What if a guy ran on the field and we're so reactive as opposed to being proactive. There's no need for streaking during games of this significance, in my opinion.
Apparently there was one last year. I'm looking on. It says 2 individuals rushed the field during the third quarter of Super Bowl 58 and nearly interrupted the third down during the play for the Chiefs on offense.
And what happened to them? Small fine? Did they spend any time in
Probably
jail?
spent the night in jail. Probably got out 3 a.m. Little fine. That's what usually happens.
What if all of a sudden you find out they spent a month in jail? The word would get out, right? If you're streaking, you're probably drunk. You know, you're having a good time. Your buddy says, hey, let's pile some cash together. And I know this feels like a get off my lawn moment, but I'm telling you, one of these days, whether it's golf, whether it's it could be so easily done in basketball, especially with those, those seats that you have that are courtside. It's going to happen in one of these sports, and it's going to affect the outcome of a game. And then people are going to play the role of, well, why didn't they do anything about it? The only way you can do anything about it is let it be known that the penalty is so significant that other knuckleheads aren't going to do it. There's no other way to defend it. If not, it's going to happen and happen and happen and happen. And I get it. For most of you, it's a good time. You like it. You know, some knucklehead runs on the field.
So apparently last year, one of the people that streaked was sentenced to 100 hours of community service and a year of probation.
Okay.
So,
well, then it's going to happen again on Sunday.
Yeah.
If you announce that he's been thrown in jail for 30 days, and maybe the company he worked for said, forget about it. Yeah, you just lost your gig. Then I think that'll draw the attention of people. Anyway, I've always been a big opponent of the way that is handled. I mean, man, just imagine Jacksonville finally getting there. You know, it's like the whole world, and maybe a guy runs out during a PAT or some distraction. You shank a PAT and you lose by a point. I mean, just. And things like that, look at Jacksonville in these AFC championship games. The lights go out for 10 minutes in Foxborough in 96.
Happened in the Super Bowl in New Orleans last time it was there for the Ravens-Niners.
Did it really?
Yeah. Middle of the third quarter. A lot of conspiracy theories about that because the Ravens were dominating. Lights went out, and then the Niners came back and roared.
Okay.
I will say with the streakers, the TV broadcasts do a good job of not putting the cameras on them, and they pan it somewhere else. But, I mean, everybody has a phone, and everybody's checking their phone, so that kind of defeats the purpose.
I mean, everyone there is going to film the streaker, and as you said, put it out on Twitter. So they're going to get it.
And then every main, like, Barstool or ESPN accounts will, like, share the video. So that gets shared by, tens of millions of people, so.
I just don't want to see it affect the game. And I think one of these days it's gonna. And, again, like so much, we'll end up reacting after the fact when instead of getting in front of it. But I don't know. We'll see. 2806, interesting question here, in my opinion. Blue, how much do you think Tony Khan and the analytics played a role with these young hires? I honestly don't think much. I have to believe now in 13 years with this organization that the feeling this time around with Liam Cohen is give him full authority on hiring his coaching staff. Okay? Was input put into it? Did Tony Khan, when he got with Liam Cohen, he said, who's the offensive coordinator going to be? And, he had the Nate Shieldhouse rumors who announced yesterday he was staying in Los Angeles. My pick was Kevin Carberry, the offensive line coach in Tampa, make him the offensive coordinator. Does Tony Khan and someone from his analytics department all of a sudden provide for Liam Cohen different things that Cohen likes to run? For instance, the screen game. Cohen is more under center than Jacksonville has been shotgun in Trevor Lawrence's 4 years here. Cohen's going to have him, you would imagine, under center a little bit more. With the offensive coordinator candidates, how much have those teams been under center? I'm sure information has been provided to him, but I would think not as much here. Now, I think that changes when you get to personnel. I think that changes when you go to the NFL draft. I think that changes when you get to free agency. All right? Right now, the two biggest free agent decisions that I want this team to make is a right guard and a number 2 wide receiver. I know that most of you out there want defense, and I get it. It's going to apply on both sides of the football. What style of offense do they run in college? What style of defense do they run in college? What style of offense do they run this past year in the NFL? It's unlimited. And here we are talking about 5,000 props for the Super Bowl. Can you imagine these analytical numbers? I mean, I see them all the time. There's a couple people that I do follow, and I read it, and then there are times I get disinterested or bored. It's too thorough. I got a little bit more of the, the gut feeling or the instinct with this game. Here, what's fascinating about sports? If you're really a sports fan, is figuring out yourself what's going to happen next, right? Now, I get it. It's one thing if you're at the game and you're on your 18th Pat's Blue Ribbon and you're having a great – that's fine. And by the way, all the power to you. Have a blast. But it's another thing if it's down in distance. You're at your 25, 1st and 10. What are you doing? 2nd and 6. What are you doing? Are you running? Are you passing? That happens in everything. An 0-1 count. What are you throwing? A 2-0 count, a hitter's count. What are you throwing? Basketball. You're down 9 with 6 minutes to go. How much clock are you taking? You going into the paint. You taking a 3-ball. Great sports fans themselves in their mind, every single pitch, every single play, you yourself are thinking, what are they going to do? And you usually take it to the point where this is what you believe they should do. And they either do it or they don't do it. And again, fans are never wrong. I love fans. You should never be wrong. You're not paid to be wrong, right? You're not paid at all. But that's what's really fascinating here. And again, I wish I could do that in some other fronts in life. Other issues that, believe it or not, are more important than sports, as opposed to this, kind of sitting back and taking it. But this is what I do. But it's everything. I sit in the press box every single Jaguars play. And I love sitting with Dave Campo. Dave Campo is such a wealth of knowledge defensively that I'll ask him, what's going on here? They're in nickel. All of a sudden they pull another guy out. They're in dime. I'm thinking of 2 years ago against Baltimore when they, had the third safety that was in there with Dewey or whatever it may be. To me, that's always been a big part of it. If you are that type of fan. If you're not, that's cool as well. 2577, Ballou. 2025 will be another wasted year with this new regime. But I believe 2026, a deep run into the playoffs. I think most would take that. You saying deep into the playoffs in a year, wasted year. Okay, yeah, there's going to be a lot of mistakes made when you have a youthful staff like this. There's going to be a lot of mistakes made when you have a first-time head coach, when you have a first-time offensive coordinator, a first-time defensive coordinator, a first-time general manager, a first-time executive vice president. There are going to be mistakes that are made. And I think that Jaguar fans are smart enough to understand that. I mean, come on. You don't expect to just turn around and flip this switch and all of a sudden be in the Super Bowl in a year. It doesn't happen. Great stories, teams that turned around their franchise certainly did a lot to improve, but it leveled out once you got into January football. Just look at Minnesota, for example. All right, Minnesota was one of the greatest stories this year in the NFL. And, once you got into playoff football, reality came in. I think that's a fair point. Wasted year, okay, that may be a little rough with your wording, but I get what you're saying. I think that this season, and I'm not going to make excuses for the season. Okay? I'm not going to be a paid, hey, it's okay, it's okay. No. I've never been that way. I'll never be that way. But I do think in a lot of instances, this year is going to be a little bit more than just the record. And I can't believe in some circles I'm saying that. Because the bottom line is to win. That's it. Win, win, win. But I say that only because Jacksonville was so bad in every phase of their football team outside of special teams. They were so bad on offense. They were so bad on defense. I mean, I went through their offensive numbers here to begin the show. When they made their defensive hire, we went through the defensive numbers, and they're even worse than offense. They're in the 30s. At least the Jags offense is in the high 20s. You can't just expect all of that to change. There's just no way. So, I'm not going to speak for you. I'm going to give you my opinion. I do think that in some circles, it's going to be more than just the one-loss record. It's going to be, how did you lose these games? Oh, they lost 10 games last year by one score. Okay, do you expect to win all 10 of those games this year by one possession? That'd be ridiculous to think that. Can you win half of them? All right, you win half, then you're what? You're 9-8. What do you think the Vegas number's going to be? It's tough to pin that out now because we haven't had free agency and we haven't had the draft. But what do you think right now, just offhand? If you could get these numbers before anything changes, I would put the Jaguars at maybe 7 wins, maybe 6.5. That would be my guess. Can you get that up another win once we, officially get into it when the league year begins and free agency is underway, and then the draft is 40 days later? I think we're now officially 74 days away from the NFL draft. I think it's pretty good assessment by you. All right, let's come back and take some more of these. Let's spend a minute on Fred Taylor here tonight, because they are going to announce tonight. And I would be pleasantly surprised if Fred gets in. I just don't see it happening. I think he's a year away. I do. I think he's gaining a lot of attention. And, I think it's going to happen with Fred Taylor, but I think it's one season away. Let me tell you what else that you should hope for tonight. And again, let's cover this on the other side. At least one, but you should hope for 2 wide receivers tonight, because that's going to get Jimmy closer. There's a list of about 6 or 7 guys right now that have to get in. And I think Torrey Holt gets in tonight. Of course, he had one season here in Jacksonville. I think there's a good chance that maybe Reggie Wayne gets in tonight. You got to have more of these wide receivers get in, and then all of a sudden Jimmy is going to come back and enter. I think he'll be number 4. I think next year there's a real good chance that both Tom Coughlin and Fred Taylor could get in. All right? And then Jimmy Smith a few years after the fact. Well, let's come back, talk about that. The Hall of Fame. Does Freddie Taylor get announced tonight? That is on the other side.
Should we do it?
Let's do this.
More Jaguars, more Gators, and more Jacksonville. 1010XL, Jack Sports Radio.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Jacksonville, get ready to spice up your night at One Night Taco Stand. every Taco Tuesday. Enjoy their mouth-watering tacos for just $2.99 and get your weekend started with 2-for-1 house margaritas. Find fresh Mexican street food, stiff drinks, and fun vibes at One Night Taco Stand with 3 Jacksonville locations in Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
Roses are red, violets are blue. A broken pipe? That's no way to woo. This Valentine's Day, don't let plumbing or HVAC problems ruin the romance. Whether it's a leaky faucet, a backed-up septic tank, or a heater that's colder than your ex's heart, Duck Rooter is here to save the day. Our expert team will fix it fast and at a fair price, so you can get back to the love you deserve. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckrooter.com.
New Orleans, a spectacle in the Superdome. 4 quarters in the French Quarter.
60 minutes of football.
60 minutes! Our best, here we go! 1010XL's coverage of football's favorite day.
This is about us!
Is viewed through Window World of Northeast Florida.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a beautiful walk-in closet that's already so incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And take advantage of extended savings this month. Get 40% off and another 15% off with 18-month special financing.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Mia here. It's the Everything's on sale going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Get 0 down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for 0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till July 2025? And you get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop the Everything's on sale at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295 and at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/save for more details.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. No matter the weather, Triumph has an unbelievable selection of rides where you can get out and just enjoy the highway.
They do. The new Rocket is out with the new color schemes, the Tiger 1200, which has been revamped. These bikes are nice, gorgeous, and ready to ride.
And if you want to take a look at the selection, they can just roll into the showroom and see a full variety.
We've got them all in stock and ready to go.
So if you log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, search the Triumph line, and then head into the showroom. You'll be impressed. Cycles of Jacksonville.
Pick it here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bow 9. Visit Bow 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Good to see some golf out at the Phoenix Open. Waste Management Phoenix Open. Every year I say I'm going to go. Every year I don't. But the players will be here before you know it.
Yeah, that's bad timing for the Waste Management, the weekend of the Super Bowl.
Well, was it last year the Super Bowl was in Phoenix or 2 years ago? I'm trying to remember.
Last year was Vegas.
Okay. I've been to a Super Bowl, been to a couple Super Bowls in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. Pretty cool out there.
Yeah, the Chiefs-Eagles 2 years ago was Phoenix. Because I knew somebody that went.
If I didn't go to Florida State, Arizona State would have been a cool school. I was probably going to go to UMass, if not, but that could have been a cool life out there. No regrets, obviously. I mean, you kidding me? Florida State and Duval. I mean, what's there not to love? Fred Taylor, tonight, will he get in? I think he's a year away. He's 17th all-time rushing, 11,695. The 16 ahead of him are in. The only, technically it's 15. Frank Gore is not eligible. Gore is third all-time rushing with 16,000. Fred's going to get there. What hurts Fred Taylor out of the two things that I mentioned earlier, I think the small market hurt him. I think late in the career, not winning a Super Bowl with New England hurt him a little bit, is this is a brutal class. Okay? Eli Manning's getting in. Eli Manning was 117 and 117 as a starter. He won 2 Super Bowls, and he won them in New York. He's going to get in first ballot. I wouldn't vote him in. But I'm telling you, that's a no-brainer. That is going to happen tonight. I mean, that one is as automatic as you can possibly put together. The Mannings are the first family of football, and there's really no other way to say it. It is going to happen. Here's who I would vote for tonight if I had 5. Antonio Gates is a lock. Former college basketball player. He was absolutely sensational as a tight end, and he deserves to get in. End of story. Torrey Holt. It's time for Torrey Holt. Okay? You look at his numbers, 920 career receptions, 13,382 yards, averaged 14 and a hook per reception, and scored 74 had 74 touchdown receptions in his career. This is the 6th time he's been on the ballot. You know, his plaque will say St. Louis Rams 1999 through 2008, and we'll say the Jaguars 2009. I just think it's time for Torrey Holt. What is really interesting is also on this list is Reggie Wayne as a wide receiver and Steve Smith as a wide receiver. You start to get to these numbers. Jerry Rice, your all-time leading receiver. Larry Fitzgerald II. He's not eligible yet, as we know. Then it's the tight ends, and Gonzalez and Witten. Witten not eligible yet. These two will be eligible, I believe, next year. Marvin Harrison, Chris Carter, Tim Brown, Terrell Owens. Those are your top 8 all-time as far as receptions. 9th is Anquan Bolden. Okay? Bolden not on the finalist list, but he will soon. I think Anquan Bolden's going to be a Hall of Famer in 3 to 5 years. Reggie Wayne, 1,070 receptions. I'm taking Holt over Wayne. Some people may argue with me. You look at Holt, 1,070 receptions, 14,345 yards, 82 touchdowns. Played with arguably the second-best quarterback of his era with Peyton Manning. He's going to get in If not tonight, I think in a year. Steve Smith, right behind him, technically behind Andre Johnson. Steve Smith then with 1,031 career receptions. You go down to Hines Ward, 1,000 career receptions. This is what is so important for Jimmy Smith, okay? You need Reggie Wayne to get in the Hall of Fame. You need Torrey Holt to get into the Hall of Fame. You need Anquan Bolden, Steve Smith Sr., Hines Ward to get into the Hall of Fame. Once these guys get in, then that really is going to open the door for Jimmy Smith. If you look at Jimmy Smith's numbers, he's 30th all time in receptions, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. His average per, 14.3, 12,287 yards, 67 touchdowns. Jimmy Smith in his career, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive years of 1,000 yards receiving. Okay, played 12 games in 2003, ended up with 805. He plays a 16-game schedule. The average would have taken him over 1,000 yards. And, of course, he did it as well in 04 and 05. His final year, 70 receptions, 1,023 yards. What hurt Jimmy Smith, obviously, was his legal situation. And it got him, knocked out of the game. Statistics are important. It's not everything, but they are important. And if Jimmy Smith plays a couple of years and picks up a few thousand more, I mean, you're talking about a guy who would have had close to 15,000 career receiving yards. A guy who had a chance to get to 1,000 receptions. A guy who may have ended up with 75 to 80 career touchdowns. But, can we play the what-if game? That's what I hate about Jacksonville. I hate playing the what-if game. I hate this for these Jacksonville players, I should say. My what-if for Fred Taylor is, what if Maurice Jones-Drew didn't take away those touchdowns? What if he's won a Super Bowl at the end of his career in New England? It's going to be really interesting tonight. Luke Kuechly's going to get in. Defensive Player of the Year. Really a huge part of that franchise in Carolina. And myself, I don't know if I would vote him in, but I'm not going to say I've cheated here because I always try to be very thorough. Every prognostication that I have read has Luke Kuechly going in. All right? I mean, there's really no other way to say it. He is going to go in. So that would be number 3 for me. I tell you who I'd put in. That's Terrell Suggs. He was a beast. Okay? To me, he was absolutely outstanding, particularly in Baltimore. He would be the 4th guy that I would put in on this list. Number 5, believe it or not, I think's going to get in tonight, number 5? Adam Vinatieri. There's only a couple of kickers who have ever been put into the Hall of Fame. But if you look at what Vinatieri did in New England, those clutch kicks, in Indianapolis with those clutch kicks, there's almost like you wish there was a different vote here for kickers and punters, that it could come at the expense of certainly another position football player. But I think it's going to happen tonight. So my prediction is this. These are the 5 that I think will get in. Eli Manning. And I'm not a fan of it. But he's in. Antonio Gates. End of story. Guy was sensational. Torrey Holt. Taking him by just a nod over Reggie Wayne. Okay. 3 wide receivers here. Steve Smith, clearly the 3rd guy in my opinion. I'm going to rank him Holt, Wayne, Smith, but it could be Smith. Who knows? Or it could be Wayne. Again, for Jaguar fans, outside of Fred Taylor going in tonight, the most important thing that you should be rooting for is hopefully 2 of these wide receivers get in. The best case scenario tonight would be Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt going in. Again, limit that number. There's not a lot of numbers at running back. Frank Gore is going to come up. Let me look at some more of these as I continue this thought. With running backs, I mean, it's basic. You're either going to put Fred Taylor in or you're not going to put Fred Taylor in. He is the next man up. Everyone above him is in the Hall of Fame except for Frank Gore, who is yet to be eligible. I believe Frank Gore will be eligible next year. All right, after that, it's Steven Jackson. Fred Taylor was a better back than Steven Jackson. Derrick Henry's moving up. Obviously, he's still playing. John Riggins below him is in. Corey Dillon had a very good career. Corey Dillon, to me, was arguably a Hall of Famer. I thought Fred Taylor was better. They played in the same era. Then it's O.J. Simpson. Then you start getting to LaShawn McCoy and Warwick Dunn and Ricky Waters and Jamal Lewis and Thomas Jones and Tiki Barber. I mean, Eddie George. These are very good running backs. Fred Taylor was better. Eli Manning, Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt's my third. Luke Kuechly, again, I've been swayed here by everything I've read. I think he gets in at number 4. And I'm going to take a flyer here. Why not? I'm going to say Adam Vinatieri gets in as a kicker. Arguably one of the greatest, and maybe the greatest kicker of all time. I think he will be the 5th one announced tonight. You have a difference in opinion either way? Would you add a guy to what I just said?
The only one I'm on the fence on is Vinatieri. I don't know if they will make him first ballot. It wouldn't surprise me if they do, but that's the only one that would be kind of on the fence on. But everything else is right. I agree with.
Now, if I had my say, the first guy I would elect is Antonio Gates. The second guy I would elect is Fred Taylor. The third guy I would elect is Terrell Suggs. So I'm talking about entering 2 guys that I would vote if I was a Hall of Fame. I'm a Heisman voter. I'm not a Hall of Fame voter. I would vote in Terrell Suggs and I would vote in Fred Taylor. And I put them in there with Gates. Again, I put Holt in there, and I wouldn't vote Eli. He was average. He won 2 Super Bowls. That's why the guy was 117 and 117 as a starter. I just wouldn't. And I guess because I would be handed, obviously, a lot of information, Kuechly would be hard to not put in based on everything that I've read. Luke Kuechly, the linebacker, as we know, for the Carolina Panthers. All right, we got much more to do. Going to take you up until 8 o'clock right here on this Thursday night. Hacker Nation will join you then.
Your home for Gators Hoops is 1010XL.
Number 6 and number 1. Florida fights for some chart action in Auburn. Gators Tigers, Saturday at 4 on 1010XL.
Is your dog Team Rough or Team Fluff? It's officially Puppy Bowl season at Dogtopia Jacksonville, Beach Boulevard. They're getting MVPs, most valuable pups, ready for the big game. Your dog deserves a tail-wagging day of fun, and Dogtopia's indoor playrooms are the perfect training ground for their game day moment. Get your dog in on all the action by visiting Dogtopia Jacksonville, Beach Boulevard, and St. John's Bluff. New to the pack? Enjoy a free day of daycare. Mention Puppy Bowl when booking to claim the offer.
Dave Benyon with Zero Res. As the temps outside are warming up, so is Zero Res. Right now, it's the hottest price of the year. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $147, and the 4th room is free. That's right, the 4th room is on me. Google Zero Res and see what people are saying. Zero Res has over 6,000 5-star reviews. Remember, February is the hottest price of the year for Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $147, and the 4th room is free. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order logo coffee mugs, or maybe a logoed stick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. HardballCreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
U.S. Border Patrol PBR is at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena February 22nd and 23rd. For your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets, text PBR to the text line covered by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010.
Hey, this is David with Royal Pest Services. The fact that we've been bundled up the past month gave us an idea. Let's bundle up also with our Centricon and Pest Control bundle, starting at $349. Visit RoyalPestServices.com for your free inspection.
Hicken here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Don't miss the big game specials at Southern Steer Butcher. Check out our website for the big game snack attack, party combo, sampler combo, and the best buffalo dip you've ever had.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
The Florida Forum welcomes best-selling author and journalist Carl Hyacin, February 12th. Funds raised go to a Kids Care Mobile ICU, a neonatal and pediatric critical care transport vehicle. Kids Care vehicles and helicopters safely transport more than 2,200 infants and children a year to Wilson Children's Hospital. Get your tickets at thefloridaforum.com or call 202-2886. 202-2886.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off and interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings in our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Guys, Valentine's Day is coming. Don't run out of time. Jacksonville Flower Market on Beach and Southside has fresh, beautiful flowers she'll love. Mention radio to get 10% off. They'll even customize the bouquet so it's unique to her. Jacksonville Flower Market on Beach and Southside.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, Jacksonville, very busy today. Reports all over the place as far as the offensive staff. Shane Waldron is going to be the passing game coordinator. He was fired this past year in Chicago after 9 games. John Van Dam poached kind of from Tampa as the pass game specialist. He did not have his contract renewed there, so Liam Cohen said, well, watch this. Let me go snatch him. He was the tight ends coach in Tampa. No word officially yet from the Jaguars if he will be the tight ends coach here. And, of course, very, very late last night, most of you woke up to it this morning. Grant Udinski is the now offensive coordinator, 29 years of age, in Minnesota as the assistant offensive coordinator. He will now be a large part of the brain trust along with Liam Cohen, who, of course, will call plays. Jaguars still waiting on an offensive line coach, which to me is the most important hire of all. Whether or not it's going to be a veteran, former NFL coach who will join the staff. Reports are out that Ron Rivera, who apparently interviewed here or came in for a conversation, is going to go to Cal Berkeley as a an analyst. So he is not going to defensive analyst. He's not going to be one, if in fact that is the direction they go. And the general manager. James Gladstone picking up a little bit of pub here as of late with the Rams. I still think Ian Cunningham's got a real good shot with the Chicago Bears to end up coming here when it's all said and done. Ryan Nielsen got a job as well. He is the senior defensive analyst in Buffalo. Once you get in, it's like the mob. Once you get in, there's no getting out, right? I mean, you can be just so bad at your job, but you're going to find work. Press Taylor, sure, let's make him the offensive coordinator in Chicago. Ryan Nielsen, absolutely. Give him a job. Now senior defensive assistant in Buffalo. Part of a great defense there. 4704 Ballou. Eli is getting in for 3 reasons. His last name, David Tyree and Mario Manningham. Those 2 made phenomenal catches. The Tyree catch, by the way, Eli was in a grasp. If it was the other way around, can you imagine if that was Brady? The whole world would have said he's in the grasp. He's in the grasp. He's in the grasp. That should have been New York's ball or play over. I'll also add this for Eli Manning. How about Tom Coughlin and that defense being able to get at Brady by doing what? Rushing only 4. I mean, those are the historic moments, Tyree and Manningham. But there's no doubt the ability of that New York Giants defense in those Super Bowls to rush Tom Brady with only 4 guys was absolutely enormous. 66-22 Heisenberg. Okay, even listened to me back in Minnesota years ago. I appreciate that. You moving back here. What if 66-22, you moved from Minnesota back here? I mean, who's the big winner tonight? You. 66-22. My goodness, man. Can you imagine living in Minnesota? I enjoyed visiting Minnesota a few years ago when the Jaguars practiced there, but it was in August. 3141, boy, you can be able to hold off on texting Tony when things go bad. You know, that'll be interesting. I don't know. I text Tony a lot. I think my expectations are real. But I don't know. We'll see. 34-10 Blue. The rest of us, outcome of the game. Yeah, put them in jail month and that. Otherwise, I don't want my tax. Well, you don't want your tax being kind of a jacket. It goes back to streakers rushing on the field. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things you can make a point that you don't want your tax dollars going to. That's a healthy conversation that we can have at some point. But I'm all about stopping it. And I don't want to be a I told you so, right? I told you so, I told you so. But I don't know why that just haunts me, that something like that could happen in a big game. And there's not a bigger game than the Super Bowl. 7909, Ballou. Cohen is the jaggiest hire since Bradley. Well, it's an interesting point. I mean, Gus Bradley, what's there not to love about Gus Bradley? Maybe the greatest human being on this planet. I mean, that is a special man. I am a huge Gus Bradley fan. And I remember him asking about my mom when she had all those brain tumors. My mom died. It's been nearly 2 years now. But, Gus would, pull me aside and ask me these questions. I mean, very Bowden-like, very Bobby Bowden-like. Head coaches don't have time to do things like that. Gus Bradley did. Bobby Bowden did. Big fan of Gus Bradley. See him land back on his feet again. But, I'm trying to remember, that was a home run hire now. I mean, and that was league-wide. That was not only Duval who was drinking the Kool-Aid. There was a lot of positive things that were coming in. His time with Pete Carroll, just that whole defensive style and what it was going to be about. Yeah, it's hard. It is. I mean, look at these new coaches. You have 7 new coaches. How many were rehashed out of the 7? Pete Carroll's 1. Did anyone else have a previous head coaching stop before? I don't think so.
Kellen Moore's not rehashed.
Nope.
I mean, I know it's not official, but that's probably going to happen.
It's probably going to happen in New Orleans, right? I think the others are all first-timers, unless there's one that I'm missing. But, I say it often because it's so true that it's just like first-round quarterbacks, man. Most of these don't end up having it work their way for one reason or another. 31-41 Blue. Rick, I set the over-under on Cohen's tenure in Jacksonville 5.5. You taking the over, the under? I take over. I would take over. I mean, 4 wins a year ago, 10 losses by 1 possession. I think they win at least 2 more games. I think they have a chance to win. I would wager single digits. Can you get to 9? Can you get to 8? Don't know. Definitely do not know. But 5.5, heck yeah. And again, it's a little premature to do that now, considering there's so much, roster work that needs to be done. Is this football team going to keep Christian Kirk? Is this football team going to keep Evan Ingram? We're all under the impression that Brandon Sheriff is going to be let go because you can void that out, contractually speaking. Are you going to re-sign Trayvon Walker or let him work on a contract year? Are you going to cut a guy like Devon Hamilton? Are you going to be able to get anything out of either Eric Armstead or Gabe Davis? Do you possibly move a Devin Lloyd or a Travis Etienne? You're not going to get any value in return for those 2 players. So the answer to that question for me is automatically no. I actually think Travis Etienne has a chance to really do some good things in the Liam Cohen offense, particularly with the screen game. And then when you get through that, you got to decide what you're going to do in free agency. I mean, the league year begins, March 14th? Today's the 6th. We're like 5 weeks away from the start of the league year. And then we're 74 days away from the draft. You're going to get 2. You hope you're going to get 2 starters. All right? Number 5 and number 36. You should have starters right there. So if you can get it, and I know you said it at 5.5, but if you could get this is from the 3141. If you can get it at 5.5, man, I would absolutely be all over that right now. And that's before everything that I just mentioned has actually taken place. Just my opinion on it. All right. We got much more to do the rest of the week, including tomorrow. Rafael Esparza, we're going to dive into some more of these props coming up on Friday, and already looking forward to that show.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Talking a little bit about wagering tonight with the Super Bowl coming up on the same day that we hear that Ohtani's interpreter gets 57 months in jail.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a wild story, man.
And apparently he owes, I shouldn't laugh, but he owes Ohtani $17 million.
Jeez. Crazy. Well, we'll see what happens. I've never one to really do a lot of the prop bets, although I know that they are just wild. And they get wilder every year. I mean, I remember we thought the color of the Gatorade was bizarre. Mm-hmm. And that's like one of the more normal things now that you can bet on when it comes to the Super Bowl.
I always, like Wyndham Clark shot a 64 today at Phoenix. I haven't done it in like 10 years or 11 years, but I would love to... I'd love to put out there what mark is actually more. Justin Thomas's final round on Sunday or receiving yards by A.J. Brown.
Oh, I like that.
The crossover. Yeah. Let's say Justin Thomas, he shot a 66 today. So you're going to say that A.J. Brown has more than 66 yards receiving in Super Bowl 59.
Yeah, no, I like that. And it's interesting when we talk about the game, and we're going to spend a little bit of time on that tonight and certainly tomorrow. Finally, we really haven't talked a lot about it. I think if you do a schoolyard pick'em, Rick, of the top 10 players in this game, probably 6 or 7 of them are Philadelphia Eagles. Yep. I'm just not picking against Mahomes.
How can you?
I mean, that's not a scientific breakdown of the game. I'm just not going to pick against Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes.
My GF is a Texas. She went to Tech for 2 years, and then she's an Oklahoma graduate. So I watched Mahomes since day one. Okay, every game this year, they play to the level of their competition. They get the ball last. They kick a field goal and win it.
Yeah, that's what they do, and they have not looked good. It has not been spectacular. It hasn't even been pretty at times. But you look, the games that they cared about, the games where their starters actually played, they've lost one.
Yeah,
they've lost one game where their starters actually gave a darn.
I was talking with the Philly Godfather about this last hour. Could there be a little bit of reverse the story in itself where the officials have become such a big deal that Roger Goodell was actually asked about it. Could these officials, whose name and reputation is on every play, could a call go the other way because of how big of a deal this has become that it actually ends up favoring Philadelphia?
Not to pour salt in the wound for Rick Ballou, but go back to the Sugar Bowl, 1996.
Oh!
Spurrier for a month talked about
Why?
Renard Wilson and Peter Boulware hitting Warfel late. That was the big topic, and that was a huge topic going into that game. And I think Florida State got called for 2 roughing the passer penalties.
So you think? I mean, I'm leaning more towards Philly getting a call here.
Yeah, I think they might get a call. And again, Philadelphia is an unbelievable team, and they're a team that wants to beat you up. They're a physical team. Those are the kind of teams that can beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
Beat you up on the line of scrimmage with their O-line and their D-line. Remember Tampa Bay? They got after Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Those are the type of teams that do beat the Chiefs. But again, I'm just not going to pick against Mahomes.
All right, you send me home. I'm going to go drinking now after you brought up that memory from 96. What else you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, we're going to go to Minneapolis. We're going to talk about the whiz kid, right? Grant Udinski, the 29-year-old brand new offensive coordinator. My guy Matthew Collar, he's the host of the Purple Insider podcast up in Minneapolis. So we'll get the Viking perspective on Grant Udinski. And also former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts joins us at the top of the 9 o'clock hour.
All right, Hack, have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
That's coming up right now. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you to the Philly Godfather. We got one more show before the weekend. And tomorrow we'll have much more on Super Bowl 59. Hopefully much more on the Jaguars. They continue to be very busy. No question about that. We'll also do some more on these props with Rafael Esparzo, who will join us during Friday's program. I don't check the text line or YouTube or any of that now that the show is over, but you can always get a hold of me on Twitter or X at Ballou1010XL. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. We'll do it again tomorrow at 6.